Hi guys! So today I'm going to do my September wrap-up and October TBR. So this month I managed to read 7 books. 7! That is so many books! Although only 2 of them were from my September TBR. This is because I started reading some books that I loaned out from the library. So let's begin. The first book that I'm going to talk about from September is Beautiful Creatures. I read this during the last couple of weeks of the month. It was really good. It was very long and it tended to drag out at times, but I very much enjoyed it, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The second book that I'm going to talk about this month is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. This book was not as good as what I expected, probably because I was so used to watching the movie, and I absolutely adore the movie, that the book wasn't as exciting as the movie was for me, I guess. This usually often doesn't happen when I watch a movie and then read the book. I find that the book is usually still better. But even though I didn't find it as enjoyable, I'm still giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The first book that I'm going to talk about from my September TBR is The Guild Knights of Good. I managed to finish this in one sitting, so I sat down and I just sped right on through it. This was such a good book. I got to look into the lives of the characters from the guild and see their points of view in different situations and what their life outside the game world is like. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Another book that was on my TBR was Cathys Key. This book was also really good, not as good as what I was hoping. And again, when is a sequel as good as the first book? The first book, Cathy's book, was exceptional, and this book was just as good, but it did drag on at times, and I did find it hard to stay attached to the characters without getting annoyed. So I just gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. City of Glass. City of Glass I started in August, but I finished most of it in September. So I want to say that this is a September read. I absolutely adore this series. The first one wasn't all that great, the second one got better, and this one just keeps getting better. Cassandra Clare is such a phenomenal writer, and I can't wait to start the next one. The second last book that I read in September was Anne Brasher's Sisterhood Everlasting. This is the final book in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It is based 10 years after the last book, which is called Forever in Blue. I'm not going to say very much because I don't want to give anything away. If you have seen the movies or read any of the books, get this book. It is a pleaser. I was so amazed by this book. I cried as I read the whole thing. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read in September is also a book that I finished. The last book that I read in September, I didn't start in September. I started it probably mid to late August. But I finished it in September and I read most of it in September, and that is Adventure Time Volume 1. This was really good. I love these little like comic book compilation books. I have the second one and I didn't want to read it until I had the first one, so now I have the first one and I'm definitely going to be reading the second one, and I will definitely then pick up the third one. But I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. So we have a lot of amazing books that I read in September. Most of them 3 stars and up. No bummers there. So we have October coming up, and what's in October? Halloween. So I decided to go with a little bit of a creepy route this time, and the first book that I chose was Frostbite from the Vampire Academy series. I took this book out from the library, and it's one of the only books that's probably going to get read in this round because I want to start reading my own books, but I figured it fit in with the Halloween theme of October, so I decided to read it. I started it September 28th when I finish the Adventure Time book, and I'm not very far into it. I'm 113 pages in, so I have a little ways to go, but so far it's really good. Continuing on with the creepy theme, the next book that I will be reading in September is Carrie by Stephen King. I chose this book because the movie is coming out, and I really want to see the movie. I haven't seen the originals, but I've heard amazing things, and I love reading books that are about to come out into movies. So I knew my dad had the book, so I borrowed it from him, and that's what I'll be reading next month. The third chosen book that I will be reading is also because a movie is coming out, but the movie will not be out until November, and that is The Book Thief. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why has she not read this book yet? This book is amazing. And I completely agree. I don't know why I have not read this book yet. I have started it, but I ended up putting it down. So I'm just gonna start it over again. So the last book that I've personally chosen for the month of October is Scarlet. I am so excited to finally read this book. I don't know why, but I've been putting this off. Maybe because I don't want to wait too long until next year, which is when the third book comes out. But I decided that cyborgs are enough to make it a little creepy and a little weird. So I have a little confession to make. I actually already filmed this video, and because I already filmed this video, I've already chosen my TBR jar books. I have 2 of them. The reason I'm refilming is because my roommate moved out yesterday, and I had it filmed, and then I decided that I would wait until he moved out and film it again, so I would be able to film it in front of my big bookcase instead of my little one. So that's the reason why. So the reason why you don't see my TBR jar today is because I already had the book chosen. The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank. Other book that I chose for my TBR jar is The Night Circus. As you can tell, I've also started this book, but I'm going to restart it because I don't remember anything that's happened. So these are my 2 TBR books. My goal, since I have 6 books, my goal to read this month is 4 books, and one of them must be a TBR jar book. Bye!